The Yangzhou fried rice recipe serves 4. 1 cup boneless, skinless chicken thigh meat, cut 1/2 inch dice. 9 tablespoons vegetable oil. 3/4 cup shrimp, raw, diced 1/2 inch. 3/4 cup Cantonese roast pork, char siu, diced 1/2 inch. 3/4 cup Chinese ham. 3 black mushrooms soaked in hot water until soft. Trim stems and squeeze to extract moisture. Dice 1/2 inch. 2 egg and 1 egg yolk beaten with a pinch of salt. 2 tablespoons carrots, 1/2 inch diced, blanched. 1/4 cup green peas cooked. 3 cups cold cooked rice, grains separated. 4 green onions, 1/4 inch length. The marinade for the chicken. 2 tablespoons water. 1/2 teaspoon salt. 1 egg whole. 1 tablespoon dry sherry. To taste, white pepper. 1 tablespoon oil. 1 teaspoon sesame oil. The marinade for the shrimp. 2 tablespoons water. 1/2 teaspoon salt. 1 egg white. 1 tablespoon dry sherry. 1 tablespoon vegetable oil. 1 teaspoon sesame oil. To taste, pepper. 1 tablespoon tapioca powder or cornstarch. 1 tablespoon oil.
Hi, I would like to introduce one of the famous Chinese fried rice. And this is actually, I would call, as a chef, I would call it the mother fried rice of China. Okay, it's called Yangzhou fried rice. Yangzhou is a city. Yangzhou is a city in the west-south part. And Yangzhou cuisine considered part of the Western cuisine and tied in with the Shanghainese cuisine. Of course, if you really want to detail in the Chinese cuisine, you can develop an 8 to 16 different kind of regional cuisine. But majorly here, we divided by 4 regional cuisine, and this one belong to the Western cuisine. All right. Now, Yangzhou fried rice is branded Yangzhou fried rice. You cannot substitute by anything. Yangzhou fried rice right now is the national fried rice of China. So the 8 ingredients of the fried rice become a standard. I mean, if you want to do something else, the Yangzhou city is going to say, no, that's not Yangzhou fried rice. Okay? Let me just, from step to step, I'm going to introduce the procedure. Also, you will know all the ingredients we needed for this particular fried rice. I start with the chicken. The chicken thigh meat, large dice or medium dice, but not small dice. I would really prefer the medium dice. And then we like to marinate with the following ingredients. All right? This is very important. You have a little flavor, a little bit salt. Because when the time you're going to fry the fried rice, you do need to put salt and the soy in there. So you don't put too much salt, just enough to get the flavor. All right? Of course, I would love to have a little white pepper. You know, the reason why you put a white pepper in there is not for the spiciness. It's basically just to coordinate the flavor up. And in the meantime, and I would like to put a little Shaoxing wine. You know, Shaoxing wine is a very important part for this because Shaoxing is right in the neighborhood. And move on, of course, I'm going to have a little water. And I start to mix this. Okay, now, it is very important for you to see that if the chicken is fresh, you're going to absorb all those ingredients really fast. If this is a frozen chicken, you defrost it, so you won't take that much. So it depends upon the condition of the chicken, that you know how much you're going to put in there. Therefore, even though you have a standard recipe, the condition of the chicken has to be treated in a different adjustment. All right? Evidently here right now, I'm not able to put any more because the chicken is probably is defrosted just a short while ago. They're not able to absorb too much. There is a shortcut. If you want to do that, you could use a paper towel. You really absorb all the wetness of the chicken. You know, that's chicken juice. Every chicken, if you wash the chicken, there might be some water, so you can take it out. Then you can intake a little more wine and other stuff. Of course, marination in China, you must have egg. Okay, eggs is a very important ingredient for marinade because number one, coating the chicken. Number two, allow the chicken marry together really, really well. All right, so this and. I keep moving that. Okay, now I need to do the cornstarch. Now, again, why I use cornstarch? Cornstarch is lightly coating the chicken. Again, you do not use cornstarch at this point for deep fry reason. So there's not going to be a better coating. But just lightly attach on the part of the chicken and actually marinate really well together in every single part of the chicken. All right? Now, when this is almost done, I'll add a little more because the chicken is a little wet. So if the chicken is really wet, you can use a little more cornstarch to adjust the chicken texture. All right, this is pretty good. Now, the last steps, I would like to use a little bit of oil. Why? Because if you blanch the oil, if the chicken is not oily coated individually, and the chicken, once you move the chicken to the hot oil, the chicken is going to be very lumpy. You know, become 2 or 3 pieces stick together. You're going to have a hard time to get them off one another. So you add a little oil. Once you put in oil, they all separate. Okay, just wonderful. Much easier for the cooking process. All right, this is done. I'm going to put it on the side and leave this also here. Now let's move on to the shrimp. Same theory. Shrimp also need to be marinated, but however, marinated shrimp is slightly different than the chicken, because the seafood is much more fragile in a way, my term. You got to watch out a little bit. You cannot use a whole egg. You got to use only egg white. And if you use whole egg, the egg yolk color will affect the color of the shrimp. If you want to do high-end cooking, yes, you watch every single thing. All right? We're talking about very, very high-end cuisine. Now we use egg white. And also, of course, we're going to use a little bit salt. You know, there's a lot of situation. A good chef, they might use a little bit of light soy sauce. I'm not talking about light in sodium, but light in color, so you can serve the same purpose. Here, I like to add a little more that Shaoxing wine. And I can see at this particular shrimp, cut of the shrimp, I can add a little more water. All right? So I'm going to give a good mix. Nice. Again, I'm going to use cornstarch. Okay? You watch out when you're using the egg white, because if you use too much, it will be too much liquid in there, okay? So now I'm going to have a quick stir. I'm going to create consistency of the shrimp. You can tell, see how nice it is? Okay, now of course I would like to add a little oil, again for the same reason, because I want to make sure every single piece of a shrimp, when they go into the hot oil for blanching, they're all separate. Then they will get into the rice individually, going to spread out with the rice together very nicely. All right, now look at this. This is a very nice marinade. All right. The reason why in Chinese cooking marinade becomes such an important skill, number one, you really tenderize the meat, particularly red meat and chicken. Number two, the skill of this marinade really create a wonderful flavor before you get into the wok, because you don't want to taste the food with the flavor in your mouth, but the more you chew, there's no flavor in there. No. Chinese food, from outside to inside, you enjoy a different layer of the flavor. The savor is always there from A to Z. That's the reason why the Chinese cuisine, a good Chinese cuisine, not only is a harmony of different flavor together, it's a symphony. Okay? Allow me now to do the egg mixture. We're not making egg pancakes, but we're making scrambled, sort of like scrambled eggs that we're going to put in there. Before you do that, I like to do a little inventory for you to show that we do have 8 ingredients for the Yangzhou fried rice, meaning we want to do the official brand Yangzhou fried rice. Okay, we got chicken, 1, shrimp, 2, egg, 3, barbecue pork, 4, ham, 5, peas, 6, diced carrots, 7, and tree ear, 8. Okay, we officially passed the city code. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to move on to the scrambled eggs. Remember, do not let the wok heat too long, because if the wok temperature is too high, you put the food in there, it's going to, I don't care, you're going to put an onion, you're going to put a vegetable, even put the protein in there, it's going to burn. That's no good. So you always have a medium-high heat when you cook them, then you start to adjust the flame to a certain point you need it, all right? Remember, the concept of stir fry is not only one flame, serve all purpose. You need to deal with different ingredients, different texture of the sauce, different type of cooking. You adjust the flame. All right, here we are. There's the egg. Okay, we remember, when we do eggs, most of the people, they do not put any flavor in there. Yes, we do. We want to put a flavor, a very light flavor in there, that when our customer tastes our food, every single part of the food is flavored, okay? Okay, the eggs is ready to go. All right, now we move on to blanch the chicken and shrimp. I will not blanch both of them one time, but I would do it separately. I'm going to do a very small amount of oil. For shrimp, I don't want to have hot oil. I want to have warm to hot oil, because shrimp, number one, their piece is smaller. Shrimp is much more tender than the chicken, so you must treat it with a little more tenderness, okay? Right now, okay, I'm heating the oil. You know that what is the best way to test the oil is ready or not? Simply just put a piece of shrimp in there. You see the shrimp is just fry right away, and with sort of like a smoking situation, that you got to turn the fire off, you slow down the heat, then you do it again, all right? Now, evidently, we're fine with this. I just need a couple seconds. I'm ready for this. Okay, this is a medium-high, so good. I can go in now. Okay. Right now, I want to give a good stir. As you can tell, see, the moment I put in the medium heat oil, see, all the shrimp separate. That's the key point why you want to use a little bit of oil as the last step before the marinade. Without that, you wouldn't get this. Look at this. I don't have to worry about later on they all get to lump together, you know. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. All right? And I guarantee this egg white marinated shrimp is going to be very, very tender. Okay? I'm done. I don't want to cook too long. Okay? I want to keep the tenderness for the shrimp. And again, I just want to show you one more time. Look how nice the shrimp color. All right? Now, allow me to move on. I return the oil to the wok. I'm going to proceed the chicken. Now I need the oil a little higher heat than the chicken, than the shrimp, okay? This is the chicken. I'm going to wait a couple seconds when the oil is really hot. Then I'm going to blanch the chicken. All right, nice. Look how nice this. Wow, what a color. All right, we'll move on. When just very shortly we get the chicken blanched, then we move on to the final touch of the job. We put all the ingredients together, finalize the flavor, try to make sure the color is really pretty and the flavor is good. We got a real good standard Yangzhou fried rice. Right now, the oil is pretty good. Before reaching the smoking point, I put you see that, you hear that? The sizzling sound? That's what I like as a chef. I like to hear that. That's the music for me. Here we are. All right, you make sure you cook the chicken, because this is a fried rice, this is not a stir-fried vegetables. You make sure the chicken is cooked about 80%, all right? Instead of regular stir-fry, 60%. Wonderful, beautiful. See the egg coating, the cornstarch, the oil, everything work together wonderfully. So you see this? The chicken, every piece, single piece is very individual, very, very nice. Okay, that's the magic of the marinade. I need to cook just another 30 seconds more, because I want to make sure the chicken is quite done. Because when the time I start to cook the rice, there are so many ingredients in there, and I'm a little worried maybe the chicken is not done. So I want to make sure the chicken is done right now, 80%. Then I would do the rest of cooking, along with the chicken. All right? Now, I'm almost there. Here we are. Okay, I strain the oil. Ladies and gentlemen, I just used a very little bit of oil at the bottom of the wok. Okay, I shake the oil here. And I'm going to move on the rest of the cooking. Well, I could just do like this. You know, I start to putting a little bit of this garlic in there. The moment I smell the aroma, don't wait. Peas, carrots, 3 ears, okay? Barbecue pork. For the portion of the rice there, I'm going to use all the pork. However, I probably slow down a little bit on the ham, okay? All right, I just we're going to wait a little bit of time until this all warm up. Then I put the rice in. In the meantime, I put the other ingredients over here. Right now, I'm going to add the rice. Remember, the rice must be cold, because if the rice is hot, you're not going to be able to separate the rice. The rice is going to be all sticky together, okay? So, the rice is cold. Remember, rice must be cold, all right? All right, see how nice it is now because it's cold? If it's hot, I wouldn't get this. This is the time you really need to be patient, because the rice needs to be warm up. Then they can marinate with the other ingredients nicely together. In order to get to that point, you must be patient and you can't rush. If you rush, and they're not going to be mixed well together. Okay, so there's a few pieces of lump there. You push it, and you try to separate them. Remember, you cannot have lumps in the fried rice. If you have lumps, you fail your basic skills, okay? Cannot do that. So, you got to make sure every single part of the rice is well mixed, no lumps. All right, here we are. Look at the color, it's already very colorful. All right, now, what I like to do is I would like to add a little bit of soy sauce. Remember, Yangzhou fried rice is very light color. It's not like soy sauce in there, brown color. That's absolutely wrong. So you must use a very tiny bit of soy sauce just for the color, because if the rice get dark, the other colors all disappear. Okay, the rice will still be a little lumpy. Once I warm up the whole pot of the ingredients, that will be a little easier for me to get rid of the lumps. Okay, I'm still doing that now. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you are not supposed to add a lot of oil in there. A good fried rice is not oily. If you see the oily fried rice, no good. All right? Right now, what I like to do is, I like to put all these ingredients in there. And then I do a good mix and stir fry. All right, look at the nice color of the eggs. This color actually is, in China, symbolizes the royal family. The king always wear a long evening robe, yellow color. It symbolizes the noble gold and a long life. And look at the color. It's so colorful. The 8 ingredients make sense. It's so colorful here. Okay. Now we got to just keep a few minutes cooking like this in order to get to the point that all the ingredients marry together as a happy family. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Right now, after briefly stirred, I like to taste whether I need to do a little adjustment or not. I do need a little more salt. That's another trick I like to introduce to all of you, that you see there's some, you go to a restaurant, you see the chef keep tossing the food like this many times. That's wrong. Because you keep tossing the food is not cooking there. It's dancing there. Do you want to cook food or you want a dancing food? So, of course, we want to cook food. That's why you don't do more than 3 times. 1, 2, 3. You cook a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Cook a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Like this, okay? We almost get there now. Okay, I want to have one more taste before I finalize this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a royal fried rice. All right, at this point, I like to plate the fried rice. Enjoy your Yangzhou fried rice.